Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on our video. Well folks, today's video was supposed to be just a little simple fix. Should be a simple fix. We had a little transmission leak. No biggie, right? Pop it apart, reseal it, put it back together. Good as new. Let's just say we underestimated. Tearing into a transmission is, I have to say, just a little intimidating. Today we've got this T5 transmission coming out of the Mustang, and we were noticing in the garage we kept getting a little leak, and it seems like it was leaking out of this seam right here between this neck and the bottom. We're going to pop this off, try to reseal this, and put it back together without any extra parts. From best I can tell, I had a leak. It was happening right in here somewhere. Or at least that's where I kept seeing like transmission fluid dripping from when it was in the garage. I don't want a leaky car, especially if I'm going to go down the drag strip. They don't want stuff leaking. You got to knock this little roll pin out and take all these bolts out. And then you can lift this assembly up off of the shaft, because this is where the shifter goes in right there. Underneath this though, there is a little ball and a spring, and I think that's probably going to be the most fun, is trying to get this back together with the ball and the spring in the right spot, and then get that roll pin drove back in there. Good times. The things I do for fun on a Friday night. Looks like a good time to me. Alright, I guess the first thing I want to do is just go around and see if I can't break some of these bolts loose. Well, that one's already loose.
You'll see later on that this will come back to haunt me.
That's pretty loose. Well. Okay, now that one's tight. Ooh, that one's real tight. Oh, all right. Wonder if the impact will do anything. This little impact's not going to do anything. Alright. Well, let's work our way on around. See how many more's like that. That one. That one. That one broke loose. That's good.
How you put that wrench on there makes a big difference on how much leverage you're going to be able to get. And I was fighting myself on this. I finally figured out how I need to have the wrench to get good leverage on everything.
Try this one again. Yeah, I think I got it. Woo! Mercy. Thought I was gonna have a aneurysm or something on that. Let's go ahead and get these bolts up. So it looks like these are all the same size bolts, so that's good. Don't have to worry about keeping up specific spots. Yep, they're all the same. There we go. my understanding is we're just gonna hold it and just lift it off, just like that. The ball and spring are just sitting right there. Oh, I gotta get that roll pin though. There's my roll pin. There's the ball. Now, time to work on this. And that's what I found was that little snapped off spot right there. And I was watching a video and they started talking about a tooth that snaps off. So I was like, oh, I bet that's what I had there. Well, here we are. Once again, a very simple task, or what I thought was going to be. It gets a little bit deeper than what I expected. So now we got to find the parts or figure out how to fix this. Whatever. We're going to fix it. Let's see if we can pop this one apart. Okay, so that part's loose. So now it's just a matter of lifting that off there. Wow, B. Look at that. That one's not broken, but it's headed that way. Sure enough, I got this donor transmission from somebody. There's the tooth, but look at it. It's not far from snapping off either. So I don't think I'd be gaining anything by swapping that out. I think I'm gonna try to track down a replacement part. I'm so glad I watched Neo Mustangs. He had talked about handling motorsports. I contacted those folks. They were awesome. I told them about the part that was broken. They kind of explained to me what it was, and they had them. I went ahead and ordered a new tailpiece bushing for the drive shaft and a new seal. And it was all super affordable. They shipped it quick. And next thing you know, I had my parts to put the transmission back together. But we've got a new seal. Of course, the drive shaft goes through there, and that just seals off the transmission fluid and stuff. And this is the bushing that actually is behind that seal that the drive shaft goes through. And then this is the piece that broke on the transmission. This is the new piece. And this piece definitely is like heavier duty. It's thicker. So hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. This is a seal puller. So it's just a little cheap tool that you can buy. But it's made specifically for pulling the seals out of these things from what I've gathered. So we've got one. And the whole reason I took this thing apart to start with is I had a leak, and they had sealed it up with black RTV, which doesn't really work good in transmission application from what I gathered. So you're supposed to use this aerobic sealant. This Permatex aerobic sealant they make, it's nothing unusual, but I went to AutoZone and they didn't have it at all. I went to O'Reilly's. They showed they had 69 in the distribution center in Nashville, but not a single one in any of the stores. And then I ended up going to Advanced Auto. They had it. I think it must be the only tube in the Southeast. But Advanced Auto had it. So if you're looking for anaerobic sealant, check with Advanced Auto. I told Chris I'd give him a shout out. Thanks, Chris. All right, so the first thing. Oh, cool, that whole piece, okay. Well, that's not a bad. I've done worse jobs. All right, fixed.
It's fixed. Say good job, Daddy.
Thanks, girl. So changing the part out was super simple. Little snap ring out, take that out, a little washer do part, pop snap ring, done. Done. So the first thing we gotta do is get this seal out. It gets under there, and then it just comes right out.
Daisy's like, I'm gonna move out of the way.
Out of here. I don't know. Whatever he's doing, it feels aggressive. I shouldn't have laughed about how easy that other job was. You know, there's a reason they make a tool. I don't know if it's moving. I don't know. See if we can press this thing out.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you start applying pressure. And then you just stay at it. And then next thing you know, something magical happens.
Oh, that just pushed that thing out?
Yeah, there's the old one. It's pushed out. So now, I gotta figure out how to get this one in there. This is the good stuff. Oh, what am I using here?
Healthy Germantown.
Oh,
That's my towel.
sacrilege. Ooh, that feels so nice.
Smells good.
This, yeah, carburetor cleaner's got a very strong odor. I figured out that I can get it down faster with my hands, just to move it quick. And then once you get to a point to where you need to actually put pressure on it, then you can swap to the handle. Look at that. Look at that. It's almost like this tool was made to do this. And I think I just hit bottom. And look at there. So then we gotta get the seal in there. I bet I could take this, maybe take this old rubber out of here and maybe use that metal ring along with one of my other little things to make something to kind of press it in there. Okay, I don't think I'll hurt the seal pushing on that. Alright, that looks pretty nice, I think. Alright, we got our tailpiece rebuilt. Alright, so this little thing, which basically I think it synchronizes the reverse gear when you put it in reverse, makes it easier. It kind of rides right there. So basically, I think as long as that's pointed that way, I should line up good when I go to set the tailpiece down, I think. Make sense?
Yes.
I think it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, look at it. Obviously, that's what that does.
I could have told you that.
Run it. These two bolts, you actually have to make sure that you put sealant on the threads as well. So those two, because they actually enter the main case, you have to do the threads. These bolt threads just go to the outside of the case, so there's nothing that they're going to leak from. But these two right here, you actually have to put sealant on. The surface prep is an activator for the anaerobic gasket maker. The surface prep is the activator for the anaerobic gasket maker. This stuff is what you should use putting the transmission back together instead of like an RTV. It should seal up better. This stuff, I think, goes down thinner, so the tolerances are, but I don't know, whatever. Sounds good though, right? And then the bolts, putting the housing back together, I'm going to use the medium strength Loctite. I don't know that anybody's told me to, but it just seems like it's probably a good idea. The torque specs on this, the bolts are 23 foot-pounds. I took my spring and my ball and I went ahead and kind of put a little gob of grease on there to kind of help, hold that together. So basically I just kind of covered that little area there with some grease where the ball and the detent go in there. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my bolts real quick. Just put a little bit of that blue Loctite on the threads there. I already went through all the bolts and cleaned them up on the wire wheel. All right, we got a little blue Loctite on all those. All right, first thing first. Let's go ahead and lay a bead down on this here. Whoa. We started really coming out there. All right, so you can see I just kind of laid a bead basically on the inside around all those bolts around that flange, and then those two bolts that are actually there in the going into the case. So I just went ahead and kind of made a ring around those. Now comes the fun. All right, so we're gonna put our little block in here with the ball bearing in the middle. Basically the neutral position. shifter moved. Raise that shifter back up. There we go. Let's see if we got it lined up. All right, I believe we're lined up. I can go ahead and start the roll pin. All right, roll pins in. I'm not going crazy with this stuff. I'm just putting a little bit on the threads to where maybe it'll have a little bit of a seal. Oh, that's not good.
Remember when I said that bolt being already loose was going to come back to haunt me? Well, here we are.
Should have checked my bolts. I mean, really? Really? A strip bolt. Just a simple fix. Should be a simple fix. All we're doing, just gonna seal this tailpiece up. No big deal. I'm just sick about that. That's, I can't believe this. Man, I had this thing back together so nice. And the threads on this one right here are stripped. I gotta take this back apart.
So finding this strip bolt at this stage caused me to go through the 5 stages of grief. Denial.
Is there one bigger bolt or something? Of course not. Oh, would there be?
Anger.
Man, I swear. This is frustrating.
Bargaining. I should just put a bunch of Teflon tape on it. Depression. And acceptance.
Dang, is that stuff set up that fast? It's better to clean it up now. Man, I think this is just working on old cars. Yeah, it can be a challenge as you keep running into stuff, but you know, the blessing is that you have more confidence whenever you do put it together that at least what you saw has been repaired, at least to the best of your ability. I don't know. Oh, man. All right, so it's the next day. I went and got those little thread repair kits. You know, where you can put like a new set of threads. You gotta drill it, tap it out. So I'm gonna drill, and you're gonna need to hold that vacuum right there to try to just suck all the metal out as I drill. I gotta figure out how to get that little piece of metal back out though. I can't just break it off in there. wipe down the flange there one more time, make sure it's good and clean. Good and clean. We'll let them dry for a second, and then we can spray it with the surface prep. This is kind of tricky. I don't think I'm down. Cool, I think it's tightening down. I'm just going to run them down with this real quick. And then now I've got to be torqued down to, I think 24 foot-pounds, 23 foot-pounds is what it was. Now I can just wipe the excess off, and hopefully this bad boy will be sealed up and won't leak. Bada bing. Thanks for the help, boys. Couldn't have done it without y'all. Well, we finally did it. We actually sealed it up. And we've got some extra improvements that we didn't even know we were going to make. So remember, anything you do in life, if you run into a challenge, just look within it and find the blessing. Peace.